Hey everyone, my name is Saf. You're watching Grey on Tech TV, and today in this session, we'll be continuing on our UI UX development series for Appian. In the previous session, we have seen how we can implement pie chart and donut chart in Appian using our actual values from DB. Today, we'll be discussing upon column chart and how it is beneficial for us in our dashboard design and how we can connect our data with it. So before diving deep into the code of column chart, let's understand what is the utility and what is the scope of using column chart in your dashboard. So if you are having a scenario where you are having a set data on a particular category with certain values over a particular uh, like over a particular time, over a particular consistent category, for example, sales of a vehicle every month in a year, financial year 2023 to 2024, or you can where you are basically when you are trying to showcase the user that on a particular category these values were changing on a particular aggregation. So there we use the column chart, and column chart is not only used to showcase a single value on a particular category set. It is used to showcase multiple values. So let me show you the example of multiple series. Okay, yeah, we are having an example of multiple series here. So here it is like we are having multiple series column chart with label x-axis title, y-axis title, and legend. So it is very simple where you can see that we are having the yellow strip referring to a particular category, that is IT, and then it is kind of orange category representing human services, and the reddish color, again it is sales, and so on. So here we can see that in a particular quarter, the IT has a specific value, and the next quarter, quarter two, we are having a specific value, and so on. So if you want to showcase the trend in terms of quarters, in terms of consistent categories, then you can definitely choose column chart as a way to showcase your data in a more better and understanding manner, because this is something that any layman can understand, that yes, either things are going up in terms of values or things are going down, and you know it is a better way to visualize your data. So let's understand the function first. Function is quite simple. It is a bank column chart field where you have to drop the field, and inside that we are having certain function parameters. So let's start. Label is nothing as simple as we have seen in the pie chart yesterday, like in the previous session also. That is label. And then we are having instructions for supplementary text. These are all text types, so we can put down text in double quotes, and we will be populate the specific values for them. And then we are having categories, text to display on the x-axis next to each column. So if I show you the code, it will be better for you to understand from this. So these are the basic keywords that you need to require for this function, basically the arguments. So we are having the column chart field, that is label. Whatever the label you are putting, it is coming on the top. Then we are having categories. So we are having categories. It was shown that you know the text to display on the x-axis next to each column. So we are having the categories. Simple, we are having series, that is A bank chart series, and then we are having label as tasks in the value, and the data against it. So the data against each category will be showcased like this. So similarly, we have to design our basic column chart accordingly. So let's clear the previous testing interface code and start with the implementation. A bank local variables, local bank test, and then we are having a simplified empty list. Coming back here, look out for column chart. Yeah, because you have defined local variable, so you won't be able to drop it. So if I don't do it, and if I come back again, and if I try to drop the column chart, I would be, sorry, by mistake, I would be able to drop the column chart here. You can see that. Now I want to use local variables, so I need to cut this out. A bank local variables, local bank test, and then we can paste this now. Now we are having some kind of dummy code so that we can refer to our actual uh, values referring from the database. So here you can see that A bank chart series stating with chart series, and then we are having set category and we are having the values against it, right? So we need to design our data in such a way that we are having certain categories, and for those certain categories, we are having some specific values. So let's go back to the, let's create a new expression rule. It will be beneficial to understand how to design the data. Fetch customer values, fetch column chart values. Let's quickly create the expression rule. Using the query builder here, we will be querying our source of data, VOF customers. VOF customers we have selected. Click on continue. Now I will remove all the columns because I don't want any. I only want, let's see what we have first, then we can decide. So we are having name of the customers and the tier. Okay. Can we group them to create something which will be beneficial for us to populate? So we can put a tier count, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and group them. So let's aggregate the data before populating it here. Aggregate records. Click on aggregate. Grouping, tier. Yeah, tier grouping one is fine. Measure, name of the, like, how many customers are belonging to a particular tier. Customer count. Click on test query. So for tier 1, we are having 7 customer. Tier 2, we are having 8 customers. And tier 3, we are having 9 customers. Quite simple example. Let's generate the query. Save the rule. Test data. We are having 3 tiers and relatively the count of them for the customer values. We'll be using this expression rule here. Uh, Local bank data, rule bank, this. Click on test. We got our data. As we can see, data is nothing but a map, list of map. Try to understand this one more time. So we are having a data which is a map and it is having tier, or basically if you want to rename it, you can rename it. Right now I have not renamed it, so we will be referring it accordingly. So instead of category, I would be using a loop. Instead of these hard code values, I will be using a loop. In the categories, I would be using a bank for each loop. Items would be local bank, local bank data, and expression would be uh, FV bank item dot tier grouping 1. So now we are getting 3 tiers, 1, 2, and 3, based upon the dynamic data. So I would not use them like it. I would like to concatenate it. So we will be using concat function, and I would be using tier hash and this. Yeah, I would be using comma here. So now tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Again, now we are having chart series. Chart series is nothing but what kind of value you want to populate. So instead of this chart series, I would be using count, customer count, right? In the data, I would be again using a, see, right now there are only 3 entries. I can hard code them, obviously. But the right way to do is to loop, because right now there are 3 values, but you don't know. If you do it on a considerably better scale, it would be having more values, right? It won't be there only for 3 indexes. So I'm showing you the right way just to loop with the data. Again, we would be looping with the data using a bank for each loop, a bank for each. Here it would be having items, local bank, data, and expression. It will be FP bank item dot customer count. Technically, we are having the value for this data parameter here as group like the tier is 1 2 3, right? So you might be thinking that why I have used the FEBank item dot value. I could have directly used FEBank index because the index of loop starts from 1 only. So even if I use FEBank index, then also I would be getting the values accordingly. But if our expression rule has some values for tier 1 2 3, so better to use it because we are forming the data from the expression rule and we are using, so that's why I've used it. So this is it. You can see that customer count 7, tier 1. For tier 2, we are having customer count 8, and tier 3, we are having customer count 9. There are other configurations like stacking none, show legend true, and if you see that we are having a documentation here, same thing, stacking, which is reference values, So if you put false on the legend, it won't show. By default, it is true. There are these kind of properties are similar to what we have in other components like pie chart and stuff. Again, show tooltips true, label position above. There are other positions also, adjacent, collapse and stuff. Allow image download. If you allow the download ability, then it will be downloadable like this. And then we are having color scheme. What kind of color scheme you want to write? Cherry. No, here we don't have cherry. We need ocean. We can use ocean. So you can see that you don't even need a particular specific color. You can use uh, hex code hashtag 33FF55. I don't know. I just used random one. Oh, let me check. Any type, which color scheme to use in the bar chart. Okay, we need A bank color scheme custom for it. A bank color scheme custom. Here colors, and we can put it up like this. So I just used a random hex code. I don't know what was the output. So this is kind of a green color. Again, the height is medium and x-axis style and y-axis style is there. So you can have a look at the exact documentation to find out more details about the configuration of the function for column chart. But how to use it and how to populate it, I have shown you. We can use the same code for here, this dashboard. So if we go back here, the expression area, try to populate our, let me find our code here. So here, I need to copy this code from here and paste it here. Now definitely it needs data, right? Local bank data. So let me write it as column chart data. Copy it here and again here also we need to update the value because the data is the local bank data is already existing at the top, right? So I'll be creating this here. Again this one, paste it now. Now you can see by clicking on the test, you'll see a column chart. I know the design parameters might not be 100% that we are expecting, but yeah, how to use a column chart, that was my purpose, and I hope you understood. We can save this one. I hope you understood how to use a column chart in your actual dashboard interface. So this is it, and thanks for watching. Drop a subscribe and like, keep motivating me and keep learning. Thank you.